How's it going, everybody? Now in this episode we're talking about the most exciting topic that everybody wants to talk about: death. There was this 55-year-old man, his name was Miktar Teryeva. He's from Moscow, Russia. So he was rushed to the hospital after he suffered from a heart attack, and apparently through surgery he died 30 times. So I'm going to be first talking about that story and then having a discussion on what death is. If you're new to this channel, my name is Leroy Kenton, and these new videos that I'm going to be making are going to be exploring topics like the death, paranormal, supernatural, all of that stuff, as well as just other concepts out there that many people may not be comfortable talking about because they may be seen as weird. It's alright. Rock your weird proud. So yeah, so if you are dead, can you come back to life? And if you are dead, are you really dead, or is it just another version of life? So this 55-year-old guy, Miktar Teryeva, he was pronounced clinically dead 30 times during his operation. And clinically dead is an important term simply because it just refers to like when your vital functions stop. So like your heart stops pumping your blood, you stop breathing, all of that. Fortunately, the surgery went well. He's alive, and doctors expect him to just make an amazing recovery and just live a normal life. However, when he described his experience as being dead, this is what he said: "In a dream, I wanted to go somewhere, but someone took my hand and said it's not time yet. I consider my doctors to be like my parents because they gave me a second life. This is a miracle." So he mentions second life, and like, okay, so we know that if your heart stops beating for minutes after, it can start beating again. But in this case, personally, I can't say that he was dead at all. I just see that his vital functions stopped. That's all it was. However, his mind was still going because he did talk about a dream. But then the whole idea of death, it really just depends on what your view of death is. One of the more popular beliefs of death is that when your body ceases to exist, your mind and your spirit, which is like the vital force that keeps you alive, it doesn't actually die. It just changes forms. And in the case of, like, let's say reincarnation, although one form of your being may cease to exist, you don't stop being. Another belief of death is that literally that's just what it is. It's the complete antithesis or the complete opposite of life. So life, okay, you're thinking, you're breathing, you're moving, and all of that. If you're not doing any of that, you just boom, you're just dead. Now, I'm a person of Christian belief, and I've seen debates about like what happens when you die, like, quite often. This is the one that I subscribe to. Like, when you die, that's it. You just stop thinking. Your thoughts don't exist anymore. You're just dead. Nothing happens. But others believe that, okay, as soon as you die, you go to heaven. So like your body's dead, but like your spirit floats up somewhere. And then it's like, oh shoot, if I'm bad, do I go to heaven or do I go to hell? Well, but I'm not gonna hell. Back up, devil. Back up. So I can kind of see why there's a lot of fear around talking about death, because there's so many different beliefs of what death actually is. But the way I view it is that death is just one thing. You die, you just stop existing. All parts of you, your mind, your body, spirit, all of that dead. But if you are somebody that subscribes to the notion that, okay, you know, when you die, your spirit leaves and you go up to heaven, is that then necessarily death? Like, death is probably just the wrong term to use for that, because that's just like a continuation of life. But then again, the question pops up is, how do we know for sure? Because like, have you ever met anyone that has been like, yo, I have seen what happens when you die. I know exactly everything that there is to know about death, and this is what happens. Boom. But then another issue comes, because you're gonna get people like me popping up and saying like, okay, but you just weren't dead in the first place. If you remember what happened when you died, you weren't dead. Also, I'm sure you've heard of the term the other side, you know, and I was actually talking to a couple of people. Somehow the topic of the Ouija board came up. I know I always find myself in these conversations somehow. Like, I didn't choose the strange life. The strange life chose me, just saying. But anyways, so we're talking about the Ouija board and everything, and what she was saying is that, okay, she was playing the Ouija board with family members, and then the thing started to move and said that it was one of their dead relatives. I don't remember who it was, like an aunt or something. I don't know. And then, you know, I'm just taking it in and listening, because like I'm always open for any type of conversation. Like, nothing is taboo for me. But I'm like, how do you know that's actually the spirit of a dead person moving that thing? Because dead is dead. You can't be sort of dead. It's like, you dead. or you're not dead. And I'd also like you to consider that there is no other side, just one side, and there's just different forms and perspectives on this same side. What I mean by that is this: there's death, nothing happens, and then there's life, everything is happening, but everything that's happening on the life side, we may not fully understand it. So for example, we can see what the wind does, we can see it blowing dirt and everything, but we can't actually see wind, and we don't even understand its full nature as human beings. We just can't wrap our minds around, like, what the heck is wind anyway? Where does it even come from? But we see evidence of it, we know it's there. Does wind look like something? I don't know, like, we can't see it with our naked eyes, but we do know that, like, under different lighting conditions, let's just say, for example, x-rays, like, right away, boom, they could see through somebody's body, but with our naked eyes, we can't see that. But it's just different perspectives on the same side of life that we can't not necessarily comprehend, like, with just ourselves, but, like, given the right materials and the circumstances, we can see that there's different ways of seeing things. So I'd like you to consider that there are other beings that live on this planet with us. We just can't see them or fully understand them. It's like they see us, and like when we play Ouija board and stuff like that, it's like them moving the pieces, and they're like, oh yeah, we're your dead Aunt Sue. But like they're just having some fun, like they're playing pranks. But again, you see what I mean? It's like the same side of life, just different perspectives of the side. So I'm gonna end off this video bringing it back to this guy, Mikitar Taryeva. He himself used the word dream, right? But I know there's still some of you out there that hold on to the concept of the other side, you know, like, oh no, when you die, you pass over to the other side. And he's just saying the word dream because that's the only term familiar to him. So that's what I want to find out, like, what do you believe about death? If you enjoy these videos, guys, be sure to hit that like button, as well as if this is your first time on this channel, hit that subscribe button, as well as that bell notification so you don't miss any new video. You can also hop over to my Patreon where you can become a monthly patron, because yeah, when I talk about topics like this, YouTube doesn't really like it, so like they're more than likely gonna take away ads from this video anyways. But whatever, Team FTD will still move forward. We're not dead. Yeah. Until the next video, guys, I'm Leroy Kenton. Boom. I'm out.